Okay, so the Zoom link, make sure the Zoom link goes up, Yard. Thank you. Guys, we got to get on now. Nope, Yard, just put me on. We've been on 5 minutes on hold. No, don't start the show again until Ron's done doing his thing from now on. I don't want people on for more than 1 minute, guys, okay? It's not nice. Okay, let's go. All right. I need to know when we're on, that's all. We're on now? Okay, everyone. Welcome to the Doc of Detox World Healing and Training Center, and we're in the tent. So it took us a little longer to put it together, and because you'd be surprised. You got to wear this mic for this, wear that mic for that. It connects to this, and we got to put it in over here. So welcome to the live Q&A, okay? Now, everybody that is on, you can come on Zoom if you want to ask me questions, and you can come on with audio, or if you want to ask me questions on Facebook, okay? I don't know if I can get the questions. Can I get the questions on Rumble and YouTube? Can you find out from Yara, please? And if I can't, at least I can see what questions come in from YouTube, okay? So if you've got any health questions, feel free to just ask them, okay? All right, so this is called, okay, the New World Health Live Q&A. And why did I call it the New World Health Live Q&A? Does anybody know why? Because does anybody get that there's going to be some kind of new world happening? And not a new world order, okay, if you understand that you are the authority of yourself. There will be a new world order if people do not know how to recognize their authentic self. If people do not understand there is no authority over you. There was a thing going on called Davos, and these are the most psycho people in the world. They're the ones that are getting together, and I don't know what drug they're doing, but they get together and they think about all this stuff that they believe will make it a better world for them. And that they are the leaders and they are the controllers of this planet. And it's up to them to clean up the mess that they actually created. I bet you didn't know that. So understand something, the same people that were on in the Davos, okay, and the World Economic Forum are the same guys that created the drive-thrus, the corner stores, the fluoride to make your teeth harder when there was only one study done, and we know fluoride's aluminum. And they put it in the drinking water, and then they tell you that your children need it for harder teeth. These are the same guys that have made up all of these reasons why we celebrate so much with ice cream and cake and alcohol. And why every time that child is good, you poison them. Every time a child is good, you poison them. That is the majority of the population, and they don't even know it. Honey, do you want a treat? And then they give them sugar, or they give them a refined flour product with all kinds of chemicals in it, bouncing all over the house, and then you punish the child. There is no ADHD. There is no ADD. There never was until new and improved came and supersized me. You don't do one scoop, you do 1 quart. You don't do one little bag, you do a mega bag. Okay, and understand something, this has been going on since the beginning of time. So the reason why they call it the harvest is they wanted to wait until there was enough people that were zombies. What is the most type of movie that you can find on TV that is the most popular right now? Zombie movies. Now, we like something if we can relate to it. We only like something if we can relate to it. Dumbed us down, with dumb beliefs that we're worthless, that we're the ones that have contaminated and inflamed the whole planet, which is not true. So now in November, they're coming again. They know exactly how to get away with what they're going to get away with, because you have to understand something. You are no longer, you are only a test subject. That's all you are. So we've got, what, 7 billion people against maybe 50,000? But because it's so easy to get you to say, I'm just doing my job, okay? I've got to feed my family, okay? Because they built in poverty consciousness to us. Also, look at everybody go, what's everybody's health care? It's not even health care, it's called medical care. And then the doctors aren't even doctors, they're called surgeons and physicians. What does a surgeon do? What does a surgeon do? Well, we know they cut, and we know that they give petroleum products, right? And we know that they use mustard gas called chemotherapy. I'm only telling the truth. So if you have a problem, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, there is a problem with the truth. I'm not against the medical system. My daughter would not be alive today if it wasn't for emergency care. But I will never go and do emergency care unless I'm in an emergency. God gave you a body. Source gave you a body. So what you need to do is you need to learn how to master that body. But what if you didn't know how to master your mind? Well, you can never master the body. And what if you were taught that you were too dumb enough to look after yourself or your children? That somebody can do it better. Somebody that would govern over you. Govern. I heard that somewhere, govern. I don't know what it means, but something about govern over you. Okay, so understand something. Healing is simple. Healing is very simple when you learn how to connect to your lion heart breathing. 6 seconds in, 7 seconds out. Hold a slight smile on your face no matter who's doing a drama, trauma, anxiety moment. Look in the mirror and look in your eyes every day and promise that you're going to love, honor, protect yourself, respect yourself, and that anybody else that you feel is attacking you, they're not. They have a different group of belief systems and they don't even know they're running them. If it's true that a person's only in the present moment for 2 to 5%, how can you punish somebody? How can you punish them? How can you judge them? And if you actually go around judging people, somebody's got to go to jail. If you judge someone, someone's got to go to jail. Might be you, might be them, might be both of you. And if you got to go to jail, and you end up going to jail, how long are you going to keep yourself there? And how angry are you going to be about that person that you're going to put them in jail? So even if you're going to put them in jail and you're going to give them negative emotion and negative feelings, guess what? They're not getting them. At least call them up and say, I hate you. And I've been thinking about you all day and I hate you all day. Might as well get something out of it. Right? What? Ron has the questions. Okay, well, we can get to that. But thank you very much, Yark. And if it wasn't for Yark, we wouldn't have pulled this off today. Okay, we're all just trying to figure ourselves out here, aren't we? So that's why when you're trying to figure yourself out and figure life out, be very patient or you'll remain a patient forever. Be very patient with yourself or you'll remain a patient forever. Or you'll make your family turn into being a patient, won't you? Understand something. I said something the other day and somebody said, no way. I said this. I said, if somebody has cancer in a family, that family doesn't know it, but unconsciously they push that person over the edge. Because if you don't understand what cancer is, that it's just inflammation in the biggest degree. If you don't understand that the C stands for corruption, contamination, and conflict of the mind first, my gosh, you know what? My grandmother, when I lived with her, if I had a fever, she gave me an enema. And it was gone in 5-10 minutes. The fever. Today, we get in the car, honey. get to the hospital. I don't know. We do need new world health, don't we? And that new world health is you becoming a practitioner, you learning how to love yourself unconditionally. And you're going to have to love others that way. You don't have to like everyone, but don't be the poison pill. Don't be the poison pill. I know that when people attack me, okay, they're in survival mode. My beliefs don't match theirs. But did I go and poke them? Did I go see them? Am I trying to steal their money? Have I threatened them? So see what happens? If you're not in charge of your emotions and somebody's belief systems are too different than yours, what's going to happen? You're going to go after them on an emotional or a physical level. Okay, you don't believe me? Okay. Then what happens in a family if somebody says, I'm not going to eat meat anymore, or I'm not going to drink alcohol anymore, or I'm going to learn how to love myself, or they start to meditate, or they start to chant, or they start doing things that are totally unusual. The family says, that person's cracking up, they're weird. Okay, I don't know, I'm going to have to take her to a doctor. But meanwhile, the family could be drinking milk, eating cheese, eating dead animals, and every weekend, everybody parties and drinks themselves, that they have a hangover, which is what? Do you know what a hangover is? No, it's not just dehydration. What is it, Ron? That's okay. We already know they're going to be coming. Okay. And I'll be there. What is a hangover? You just killed brain cells. You just inflamed your liver. You just are creating fat cells in your liver. And if you drink long enough and strong enough, you get cirrhosis of the liver. And that's scar tissue in your liver, which you can reverse. How many people know that you can actually damage the liver, totally damage it up to 70%, and it'll renew itself? So you need to get that. I bet you can do it even up to 90% and renew it. I bet if you could do it up to 98% and do it, because these are just statistics. And if you want to remain a statistic, you go right ahead. But you were created by that, which created the universe. I won't say that your body was created by God. I would never do that, because God could never create something. Well, he probably did, but I think it's been manipulated. I think it's been heavily manipulated, because the brain is just a chemist. The brain is just a computer, and it's pretty damn messed up. Dumping the wrong chemicals, okay, and we've been putting in the wrong programs. If we didn't, then we wouldn't be going awry like this. So let's start answering questions. Okay, Ron.
Yes, we have a question from Mindy. What do you recommend? Organic chocolate, essential oil, and structured water, maybe?
What do I recommend? Organic chocolate? Okay, well, let's talk about organic chocolate. I'm not sure how this all goes. Organic chocolate, essential oil, or structured water. But let's talk about organic chocolate, because I like that. How many people know you shouldn't eat chocolate? You take one piece, put it in your mouth, and you suck it until it's gone. It actually is, if it's organic chocolate and good chocolate, it's a supplement. And if you over supplement yourself with organic chocolate, you'll make yourself sick. And that's the truth. So good organic chocolate, one piece, suck on it. Okay, as far as essential oils, depends how they're made. Depends on the essential oil. Everything has a different vibration. But essential oils are one of the highest vibrating foods. It's a food on the planet. And then structured water, well, let's put it this way. You can do any kind of water that you want. Okay, I could use like Berkey water, and that would filter almost everything out. But guess what? It's not structured. And also, if you just drink a carbon filtered water, and that's all you do, and you don't structure it, you will actually get a carbon addiction. Yes, people don't tell you that, but Berkey water is a good water. But then I'm going to tell you this. I drink structured water out of any tap that I travel to around the world. And then everybody's going, okay, I don't want to deal with him. He's insane. The reality is, even though there's chemtrails, acid rain, It's all coming down now. It all comes down, doesn't it, with the rain? Why isn't it killing the birds, bees, flowers, trees, and the microorganisms? Because once you structure water, which is not filtration, it doesn't take any electricity. A structured water unit, you buy that, it'll last you forever. You can put it in under any tap. I wouldn't put it under tap that had yellow water or brown water. But I have no problem going to China, India, Mexico, anywhere, and putting a structure unit under a tap and drinking that water. Now you're going to say, yeah, but did it get rid of the chlorine? Did it get rid of the toxins? It didn't. It changed the frequency. Frequency is everything. Okay? Once you structure water, you reprogram it. You also get rid of every emotion, every program that was in the water. How many people know that this is real science, that I could actually filter water? I could do a Berkeley water filter. I could distill it, and then I could use reverse osmosis. That's quite a lot of filtration, right? But even if I did that, I'd be getting the emotion that attached from the person when they drank it. And I would be getting the vibration frequency of every drug that was ever in it, unless it went up to the atmosphere and was restructured, because it gets restructured in the atmosphere, or it came down a big mountain, fast hitting the rocks, that structures, fast moving river structures, but springs don't structure. So understand, it's tumbling in all directions at the same time. And what happens with structured water is you've got, in one drop, you've got 2,500 to 3,000 sheets. Did you know that's what makes up a droplet? Is 2,500 to 3,000 sheets. I never knew that. I went, really? So when you structure it, when it comes into the human body, you're going to love this. Don't tell me there's not a creator. When it comes into the human body, you've got an aquaporin channel in every cell. When the water comes in contact with the aquaporin cell, it stretches out like a long choo-choo train, and it shoots right in the aquaporin channel. And now you've got 1,000% higher hydration on the cell than any other water. And it's been reprogrammed. And even if there's a heavy metal in there, it will not affect the human body. Even if there's a chemical in there, it will not affect the human body. And that's called fourth phase water. Look up the research of Dr. Gerald Pollack out of Washington State University. I had him on my show about 2 years ago. Okay, now this is real science. Now, wouldn't you want to duplicate nature? Why would you want to duplicate man? Distilled water, it's so hard to digest. You ever drink a glass of distilled water? No flavor at all. It goes into you, sets in there like a lead cake. How many people know that if you drink distilled water, reverse osmosis, that you're not hydrating at all? So people who think they're drinking distilled water, oh, I'm drinking distilled water because I'm on a cleanse. Well, if you want to get on a cleanse, you should be drinking structured water, because if you don't get the water into the cells, then you're not cleansing at all. Oh yeah, but distilled water sucks up things because it's so empty. Yeah, that's true, but who cares? If the elephant can't get through the hole of a needle, who cares? I don't care how big and powerful you think it is. It's not going to work. Distilled water cannot be found in nature. Reverse osmosis can't be found in nature. And even Kangen water units that are like $4,000 are not found in nature. They're not structured water. But I'm not downing it. If you wanted to structure your water and you had a Kangen water unit, it's great. If you had a distiller, don't throw it out. Make sure you structure the water. Now you brought life back to it. You breathe life back into it. Just like when somebody comes to us and they say, oh my God, I've tried everything. They're either limping because of their ankle, their knee, their hip. They're crunched over because of their spine. They got scoliosis. They got a neck problem. It's all just beef jerky. So when we go in there, people go, well, wait a minute. If you're going to work on me and you're going to get rid of this big knot, okay, or you're going to get rid of what is making me stiff or feeling like I'm bone on bone, where's all that going to go? Am I going to have a heart attack or am I going to have a stroke? No. Even though it might feel big and a lump, like, oh, I got a lump here, I got a knot here, I got a knot here. When you put energy back into it, okay, let me show you. This is as close as I can get. In all muscle tissue, you've got what we call muscle fibers, yes or no? I'm going to go really slow so that nobody can say, that's not true. Okay, so muscle fibers. In between every muscle fiber flows your spirit, flows blood flow, lymph flow, nutrition. Well, what happens if, let's say, somebody made up this big deal and said that there was something invisible that was going to kill millions of people and we couldn't find a way to stop it? Do you think that would stress people out if you were to go for like 2 years? I don't know, but you could stress people out a little bit. So you would have them dumping adrenaline and cortisol, but you'd be contracted, right? And every time you dump adrenaline and cortisol, guess what it acts like? Super glue in your body. It actually glues the fibers together after a while. So now those fibers that were having blood flow, energy flow, lymph flow, okay, they used to bring in nutrition to the fibers and toxins out. How much more do you think I could do it if they all got stuck together? Because what happens when you freak out? What happens when you're inflamed, you're in pain, you contract? Now tell me that we're not a contractual society. So now what happens is, so now the fibers come together, and now with the fibers coming together, you don't feel as much energy. You're starting to lose energy. Well, if you can't get oxygen to your cells, that means that this area is going to become what? The pH balance is going to come off. It's going to become acidic. And when it becomes acidic, does everybody know what happens? Inflammation. What's inflammation? Inflame, just like throwing the hand on the barbecue. Okay, it's going to become dehydrated, isn't it? You're going to suck all the water out. You know, you did it to the burger and the steak that you forgot when you're making the potato salad for the summer. So you come back and it's all shriveled up. That would be arthritis, wouldn't it? Oh, really? Okay. Wouldn't that be a fibroid? Wouldn't that be an adhesion? Well, inflammation causes scar tissue formation. Well, we'll get to that in a second. So this beautiful connective tissue now the fibers are being stuck together like crazy glue because of the cortisol, the histamine, and the adrenaline. Oh, but guess what? You think you're relaxed. If you go home every night and you can't sleep, or you go home every night and you're in pain, then you have anxiety. If you have depression, then you have anxiety so bad that the computer that you think is smart, but it's not smart, it can only be as smart as the beliefs in it, the computer is just shut down. Depression is where you had to shut down the brain because it was inflamed, because you had anxiety and stress that you didn't think that you were even stressed because that's the way you live. Every mother's got to be prepared. There's danger lurking everywhere, right? Well, what do you think that's going to do? It's going to drain your battery. Now tell me that you haven't been on edge over the last 2 years. So you all get to have a reprieve. Come October, November, we're back into it, guys. Okay? So what do you think is going to happen to the majority of the population that do not understand emotions, energy, and motion? What do you think is going to happen to them when they can't master the reaction? Don't take action. Don't ever take action unless it can be a positive action. And unless you actually have your life, really, I want to see that your life is being threatened. Somebody's got a gun. Not somebody saying, we're coming for you. Who cares? That's been going on forever. That's what they use. Blah, blah, blah. You're coming for me. Got it. Okay. All right. But the reality is, if you believe in it, even if it never happens, your mind doesn't know it's not real. Did you get what I just said? So here's the deal. Do you want to know everybody that has PTSD? They don't have PTSD. They have shell shock. They have shell shock. And you're getting shell shocked every day because there's a war out there. And the war that we are fighting now is a psychological war. But I'm not fighting. I'm not listening. I'm not participating. As you can see, I'm a little busy right now. I'm giving a lecture. And the reality is I know that it's not going to go away because the majority of the population is going to buy it. So the majority of the population is going to what? Freeze up, right? Right? Fright, flight, freeze. Now, what do you think happens every time that you allow yourself to get stressed and you don't run? If you're not really running from a real tiger, no, you sit there and the adrenaline still gets poured out, but you didn't use it to run like a rocket because you've got 3 minutes before that tiger eats you. So every time that you do that, you've dumped the same amount of adrenaline because you said my life is being threatened and your brain doesn't know it because it goes by image, which creates a thought, which creates an emotion. And it was an emotion that your life was being threatened. So now guess what? You're going to dump the adrenaline and cortisol and the histamine and they're sticky. So now the fibers come together. Now, before I talk about muscle tissue and displaced calcium and all that other stuff, you only have two protectors, two defenders. What are they? Your immune system, right? And your adrenals. Now, have people been using their adrenals more than their immune system? Are you kidding? That's all they use, their adrenals. And as far as their immune system, if you use your adrenals all the time, you're destroying your immune system. And anytime that you are in fight, flight mode, are you making a salad or are you at the drive-thru? The drive-thru. Fast food, fast death. Okay, so when you calm down, do you make salads? When you calm down, do you breathe? When you calm down, do you love yourself? When you calm down, are you loving your family? When you are anxious, are you loving your family? No, you are freaking them out. Now putting them into fight, fright, flight. And when you do that, everybody dumps the adrenaline, the cortisol, and then that causes the fibers to come together. So that's, oh, I'm feeling a little stiff. I'm losing energy. Oh, my neck. I can't turn my neck. I can't bend over. Okay, I feel like if I totally extend my arm or if I do what I used to do, I'm going to tear out a tissue. You are. You put it on the barbecue, which was your brain, and you burnt it up with inflammation. I already told you how you do it. So now what happens is now it's stuck together. But what if you continue? Do you ever see a flower or anything else when it gets dehydrated? What does it do? There it goes. Now, look at this. You see that knot you have? That's based on negative emotion and anger. Does it look like a fist? That's right. And this is what happens when you don't process your emotions. You get anger. You store hate inside yourself. And it keeps repeating and repeating. But that's where the knot is now. That could be the tumor. That could be the fibroid. Do you understand? So now when we go in there and we use Wolf non-surgical, we can, in one treatment, we're going to untie the fist. We're going to open up the fibers. And guess what? Even though it might have been lumpy and bumpy, nothing is floating around new. All we did was restore the energy that brought the frequency up, that released the negative emotion that was stored in those tissues that created the issues on a physical and emotional plane. Nobody gets this. So the reality is, even if you did all the greatest emotional training in your life, when you've mastered your mind, we still have to go in and get rid of the physical blocks of scar tissue and calcium that you've displaced. And that's why it takes, in a healthy person, and I know you don't want to believe this, 20 hours in a healthy person. It takes in a person that has a chronic problem, 30 hours, and a person that has really in bad shape, okay? We're talking walker, wheelchair, okay? They're going down here. We're talking 30 to 40 hours. But then guess what? When you're talking $150, 40 hours, you're talking 60 hours of therapy, and they've got their body back. You heard what I said. They got their body back. And we prove it over and over again. Get rid of the scar tissue, get the calcium back in. So understand, when you get rid of scar tissue, you're not getting rid of scar tissue. You're restoring the life force back into the tissue and it becomes connective tissue. There's nothing floating around. Like people, when they don't understand, they'll go, I'm going to go and break this knot up. No, you're not. I'm going to go in and untie the knot, open up the fibers, allow the breath of life back into the fibers, and it's in as fast as the speed of light, it'll turn back into connective tissue. But here's the problem. The longer that, okay, I'm going to answer more questions, but I want to tell you something. I can program anybody to do anything, to eat anything, to say anything. Like that hasn't been proven yet? Okay, so everything that's in your head right now has to be the things that are in your head that you work with. They're the prominent dominant thoughts. And would you say that all of them are positive? If they were, you wouldn't be sitting here. If they were, you wouldn't have, and nobody would have an autoimmune disease. Nobody would have any pain in their body, because you know that pain and inflammation and swelling are just your body saying, you're not loving on me. And I know you don't know how, but you better find out before we both go to hell. Inflammation is hell. That's the only hell that I know. And the hell up here is the belief systems that you've taken on that were never yours. They were indoctrination that said you were a sinner, said you were a failure, said you couldn't heal yourself, said you couldn't feed yourself, couldn't look after yourself. So now what happens if I can say something long enough and strong enough and emphasize it with emotion and get you emotional about it, I can make anything into a prominent dominant belief. That will first, we go to the conscious mind, say it 10,000 times, watch any commercial, and then put it into the subconscious mind, because I already told you that 95% of your day is ran by the subconscious, not the conscious, unless you want to take my course 3 times and you want to work hard on this thing and you want to put post-it notes all over. You want to do a love band. You want to do the smiling. You want to do the mirror work. That's how you retrain. Now, what if you were able to retrain your brain and only unconditional love thoughts were in there? So even when you're unconscious and you're not thinking, you're only doing loving things for yourself. So who are you going to hurt? Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah, once you've seen it now, can you explain more about enemas? How long should you do it after eating? And how long should you wait?
Well, first of all, let's take one at a time, okay? Whenever we're doing something, break it off in small chunks. If you want someone to help you, you'll always tell when you have anxiety. Do you know why? They can't help you. So whatever it is you want, break off one little piece and say, what do you think about that? Another piece, another piece, another piece. So the first piece was what?
More about enemas. How long should you do it?
Well, how long you should do an enema will depend on the person. Now, people aren't going to like this and they go, whoa, what kind of marketeer is he? Well, the reality is, does everybody have a different personality in this room? We're all the same. Well, one of me's enough. Okay, so how long you have to do the enema?
No, it's how long do you wait after eating?
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't get it. So let me just answer the first one that I thought she said. So how long you'd have to do an enema will depend on your personality. Are you willing to go with the flow, or are you stubborn? Oh, you're not stubborn. Are your beliefs stubborn? Okay. Are you just gonna have an enema and go back to eating the way you were, because that's why you need an enema? Thinking the way you were because you need an enema. How long would you wait? Well, here, come on. First of all, I want to know that the food has left your stomach 1 hour. That means that you're almost at a point where you could eat again. You're at a point where you could eat again. That's when you do an enema. You do not, okay, because that's not a fair question either. I could do an enema 15 minutes after a banana. Okay. I could do an enema 30 minutes after a salad. But that's somebody who's healthy. Somebody who's not healthy, it might take 40 minutes because your digestion's not as good, right? If you're tired or you're sick, there's no energy to digest. That's why you don't give cooked food. The more you cook, the worse you look. The more you fry, the sooner you die. And that's, if you're already sick, you're going down, baby. But I made it with love. Okay, that's really great. They're going down. So you got to give foods to people at a high vibration or take no energy because they're supposed to give energy. How many times do you sit down at a meal and you're eating and you're starving and you're going, oh, I need it. I got to eat. And you, 5 minutes in, you're going, I'm feeling great. 20 minutes in, you're ready for bed. Because the cooked food came in, got some glucose going in your blood, but because you don't have the energy to digest or you didn't food combine it right, or it was a dead animal, or it was cooked food, miscombined, you're done. So how long can we do it? Well, if you ate an animal protein, that could be anywhere from probably, I'd say, an hour and a half to 2 hours. If you ate an animal, different animal proteins, how about 3 hours? How about if you ate 2 animal proteins and a starch? How about 4 hours? Okay, don't you dare tell me that you haven't eaten, that 4 o'clock in the morning you burp and you can taste the food. That's because it's rotting inside of you. And guess what? If you're bloated from the meal, then you can do the enema, but you make sure if you're bloated, you know this, you might have to do a warm water enema first, because if you're bloated, that means that the good bacteria are mainly bad bacteria because the food's rotting inside of you. So first a warm water enema, and then let's do the ultimate coffee enema so that we don't waste anything, right? And it's always warm water. Is that okay? What else?
How long should you wait to eat after?
Well, okay, how long should you eat? Well, first of all, and we're not going to talk about enemas. We're going to talk about coffee, ultimate coffee enema. You know what? It can't be that general. An enema is just using water, okay, or something else. I don't know what they're putting in. So you can't just answer general. Next thing is, that's what gets me in trouble. Oh, he said that you could just stutter. No, be specific. When you ask me, you know what? The biggest problem that we have with our patients, clients, and in your relationships with your family and yourself is you're not specific. You don't ask the questions properly. Don't be so general. And guess what? I'm not telling you you're bad, for gosh sakes. Nobody's able to focus because of the stress they've been in 2 years. I'll get on the phone without a word of a lie. I've never seen this. 6 out of 10 people. You can't burn your brain and expect to have smooth speech. If you can't think clearly in flow, it's not going to flow out properly. Okay, so if it's a warm water enema, how long after we eat can we do it? Well, if it's a warm water enema, I'm still saying the same rules apply. What I just said it, but you could do a warm water enema. If it's an ultimate coffee enema, I would really want to make sure that if I'm feeling any type of gas, any distension, any uncomfortableness at all in the abdominal region, even up in the chest region, because how many people know that when you feel pain in your chest, 99% of the time, pressure in your chest, okay, it's just a fart. Pushing on your heart, pushing on your lungs. Let me ask you a question. Does hot air rise? Well, endotoxin from bad bacteria is gas. That gas rises. And that's why sometimes, you can roll over and go, good morning, honey. Oh, no, honey, please don't. Please, please. I don't know what happened. I think somebody crapped in your mouth 5 minutes ago. So understand something. That hot air that rises carries microscopic poo particles. And that's why people need to what? Get their teeth cleaned all the time. It's actually plaque from the bowel. Hot air rises. Remember, this is front door, back door. It's just a tube. It's a tube. It's the only thing that is open to the outside world. Well, it's open to the outside world when somebody farts, right? So burp, fart, and sometimes the burp can smell like the fart. and then you know you're rotting inside. Okay.
In the morning, would we recommend a salt flood before the salt water?
Are you talking saltwater enema or drinking?
Drinking.
Drinking. Yeah, I would. But what I would do is I wouldn't do it all the time. I do it when I'm fasting. What I recommend is getting on daily cleansing tea twice a day. Why not get on something that won't be so harsh? If you are living off of a saltwater flush all the time, that can be a little bit harsh. You could create inflammation in your intestines. Doing it for an advanced water fast is one thing, but taking it on as a lifestyle is another thing. Okay?
Next question. Can I use a bright ice to prepare a ruptured eardrum? We want to operate.
Okay. So a ruptured eardrum could heal. I am not going to make anybody's decision and tell them not to have surgery. When I say something here, I am not telling anybody what to do. I'm telling you what I would do if I was in your shoes. That's all I'm ever saying. I will never make anybody's decision. Listen to me. We do not cure anything. We do not heal anything. We have healing techniques. We have healing strategies. They've been around since the beginning of time, way before any other healthcare system. I will never tell anybody what to do. But when I do tell people things that I would do if I was in that situation, none of them are dangerous to life. If you are not in a life-threatening situation, and I said to you, if I was in this situation, I would drop MCT C60 drops in my ear. I would also put in just 1 or 2 drops, or just 1 drop. You'll find out. You're going to go, oh my gosh, it feels so good. Like, well, what's going on here? I would also squirt silver bullet gel and I would fill it up. Not fill it up, but just like a little pool of it. And I'd go on my side, put a hot pack. So the silver bullet gel would liquefy. And guess what? Silver bullet gel heals inflammation and wounds. That's what that is. It's a rupture. Okay. C60 is the highest vibrational molecule for healing tissue in the human body. So she can put the bright eyes in there too. But what I would do is, if she wanted, she should mix the bright eyes, which is the only fulvic that you can put in your eyes in the world. It's nano. I would mix the bright eyes with, I'd put a maybe 2 or 3 drops in the ear. Then I would squirt a little bit of silver gel. I put a hot pack on, a hot wet towel, put it on, go to sleep. I'd let it soak like that. Wow. You want to see miracles happen? Okay. And then in the daytime, you can't do that. But in the daytime, here, I'll show you. I keep it with me all the time. No. We're not going to use the solution. No, I'm going to use I said the bright eyes. And when you're using the gel, because the gel's 20 times stronger than the liquid. Okay. And it's so healing. Okay. All right. So got to know what I said. We make no mistakes here. And it's not like you're going to hurt yourself. It's just the healing will go better. So then what we're going to do is we're going to put the drops in. We're going to put the drops in during the day. So here we go. Look at this. There it is. C60. I have it with me all the time. So here's what I do during the day. Okay. I tell people that if you do a teaspoon of C60 4 times a day, you can totally heal your brain. Don't believe me. Also C60, our hemp oil and our MCT oil, just know that that's the word, that's the big thing that helps the C and the B, right? So the reality is, it's not me saying it, it's health practitioners all around the world because of the vibration of healing. Okay. All right. So throughout the day, I'll just do this. And I'll hold it under my tongue until it's dissolved. That's why you can do C60, MCT oil, and hemp oil on a fast. You just need to keep it in your mouth long enough that it becomes water and it'll absorb in. And then it's not an oil that goes down and needs to have to be broken up by the liver so nothing gets turned on. So that's why you can do it during an advanced water fast. Okay, so I would just do throughout the day, I would go like this. Here, no big deal. Watch. Okay. And I just go like this. There, I just filled it. and I'm going to leave it in there. I'm just going to leave it in there. Okay. Now what's going to happen is the C60 is so, thank you, is so powerful. It's actually going to what? Loosen up mucus, congestion. Okay. And, so what you're going to do later is you might go in there and find big balls of wax coming out. Okay. I did, the silver, I did the fulvic. I put fulvic drops in. I put the silver bullet in. Okay. But I also, you can put infinite iodine in. So if you've got a lot of pain, okay, you want to put a couple drops of infinite iodine in. What does iodine do? It disinfects in 15 seconds. So you can put infinite iodine in, which is a pure iodine, and you can put that into your ear first. So guess what? I would put that in my ear first. If I had a ruptured eardrum, I put a couple drops of infinite iodine in. All you got to do is wait, what? So just give it 1 minute. Then what you're going to do is then you're going to drop in the Bright Eyes fulvic, and you're going to put just a teeny little pool in there. Then you're going to squirt just a squirt of the silver. Then you're going to put a hot, wet towel there. Then you're going to let it soak. Wait till you see what happens. Wait till you see what happens. I'm not going to say anything. Okay. All right. So, and then, like I said, throughout the day, you'll put a couple drops of the C60 in. Now, do you know why people don't get well? Because they read the bottle. Put 2 drops in twice a day. Well, that's somebody who has no problem. So the deeper the hole, the bigger the problem, the more often you do it. Let me tell you something. I had a cyst right here. Okay. And it's gone now. But that cyst had a root. And it would cause this needle pain in my eye. If I put the Bright Eyes in once, it helped it. If I put the Bright Eyes in about 6, 7 times over the next 10 minutes, I wouldn't see it for months. I don't get it anymore. Cyst is gone. Clapping. One-shot therapy. Let me tell you something. I brought up my diet that good, the supplementation that good. I'm microdosing everything. I've got my bag full of, okay, products like this that I microdose throughout the day. If you want, I'll take the time and show you what I do. Okay, you've got to keep it with you, and you're better off to do a smaller dose and do it more often throughout the day. And when you read something on a bottle, you need to understand something. That's for somebody that is got no problems. Like when somebody has a big problem of inflammation, infection, circulation, constipation, neuritis, any kind of problem. I'll say, look, what I want you to do is I want you to take 1 curcumin cayenne 5000 every hour. And that can be 8 to 12 a day. That's curcumin and cayenne. It is the cheapest, more efficient way to bring down inflammation in the body. And arthritis is the baby, and cancer is the big mother sucker and other end of it. They're the same problem, but this one was never looked after. I hope you only have arthritis, which is inflammation of the joint. Because cancer, they can tell you if you're stage 1, 2, 3 by how much inflammation you have. That's how they test it. That's how we test it with our thermography. We don't test diseases. We test the amount of inflammation. When we go back to do our thermography, if the inflammation is not there, then either is the mutation. Are you with me? But what if the mutation is up here, the inflammation mutation here? So whatever caused the disease on an emotional level, if you go back and traumatize yourself or trigger it, what caused it before, that's why you're a 2-time, 3-time cancer survivor. And every time you punch yourself down by telling a story that re-triggers, it's going to be harder to get up. Next. What? I'd really like it if you could you put the chair with the mic and.
Would you be really sorry to be thinking at all?
Absolutely. I just want to overwhelm people. But the reality is I would do it. But the C60 heals faster than the ear restore. So once the ear is healed, a person is tight with their budget and they just don't have the money. Get a bottle of ear restore, and then just do one drop. But after, you do know that once you so let's say you had a problem for 6 months. Then that means you need to really be hitting it hard for 3 more weeks. If you have a problem for 1 year, after the healing, you have to still hit the protocol hard for 6 weeks. And then you go on maintenance. Do you understand? I've gotten rid of the inflammation. I got rid of the infection, but did I restore the tissues back up to their immunity health? You understand that? So that's what people don't get, and that's why you fall back.
Okay, next question, how to get rid of mucus on your lawn?
Well, first of all, guess what? Here's the real shame in society, and I mean it. Do me a favor, will you, Ron? Will you call Lori and find out if she found my other phone? Okay, so here's the shame. And I think it's a shame. Let's play a game. Who knows what COPD stands for? Come on. Something. You're a practitioner. What? Okay, so everybody's guessing right now, but they've got a couple of the words. And understand something, I'm going to tell you something. It doesn't matter. Does anybody know what fibromyalgia is? What's that? No, you're not allowed to say it. You're not, you've been 4 years. No, I'm asking the question, the new people, what is fibromyalgia? Nobody knows. It's Greek. They're talking Greek to us. Why would anybody talk a different language to you? Okay, because they want to confuse you. Fibromyalgia means fiber, muscle, pain. What?
It is found and given through sound to animals.
Thank you. You're amazing. Fiber, muscle pain. Oh, wait now. How about this one? Honey, I can't drive. You got to come and pick me up. The doctor said I got polymyalgia. Oh my God, no, not polymyalgia. You know what that is? Pain in many muscles. Arthritis. Inflammation in your joint. Wow. Colitis, inflammation in your colon. Wow. Give me another one. Go ahead. Okay, and then somebody will call me up and go, Dr. Wolf, I'm on this drug, and I'm going, never heard of them. Really? You haven't heard of them? Drugs aren't my business. And the other thing is they're making up new names for drugs every day. Why? Well, I don't want to get into that, but we know that they get in trouble.
How about Hashimoto's?
Hashimoto's is where you are a terrorist to yourself. You are a terrorist. You know what? You're lucky you haven't blown up your family yet. And that's Hashimoto's. You are beyond anxiety. And then people are going, that's not true. I suppress it. Yeah, you're blowing up internally. Let me tell you something. Everything is based on some type of negative emotion. We are electrical magnetic energy beings. Everything is based on frequency. Okay, you're going to tell me that frequencies have nothing to do with anything? Well, let me tell you, emotions create frequencies, yes or no? Negative emotion might be a negative frequency. I don't know. It's really deep. Positive emotion might be a positive frequency, right? So, oh, but frequencies don't matter, eh? The most important thing that you ever protect is your frequency. So that means who you hang out with, how you speak, what you read, what you listen to, what you drink, what you eat, what you participate in. Let me tell you, frequencies don't matter. Then why did they create all computers, all phones, all TVs, and all lights now with what? Blue light. Blue light goes in through your eyes, because your eyes don't see, your brain sees. Eyes don't see. Your eyes don't see, your brain sees. Your eyes pick up frequency and light. That goes into the brain creates the images. The reason why there's so many eye disorders today is the blue light is burning the brain, and the brain is actually causing the eye disorders, so you can't read anymore, or you can't watch TV anymore. The main one is cataracts. 10,000 teenagers are being diagnosed with cataracts. You didn't even hear of cataracts back when I was a kid. And even people in their 80s were reading by candlelight. Okay. Yes, it is. Cataracts are reversible, but you got to remember something, man, what it is. It's a crystalline mucus buildup. The same thing that COPD is. Okay, understand something. Okay, why do I get mucus running out of my nose? Well, because cells are trying to clean themselves, and that's what we call viruses that are dead, that you can't catch. And then so you have to have a runny nose to get rid of the solvent and the chemicals that you're detoxifying. That's what a flu is. So you get a runny nose. So you have to have mucus to have a runny nose. But if you're not drinking enough water, and if it's not hot water when you have a cold or a flu, there's not enough liquid to liquefy the mucus. So now you're picking boogers in your nose and every other orifice. So now, so I don't drink enough water. I eat dairy. I eat Greek yogurt. That's way better than any other yogurt that just has dead bacteria in it and it's pasteurized. But because I'm such a moron that they can sell me anything. Moronic beliefs make you a moron. Nobody's stupid. It's moronic beliefs that they're trying to get into you by advertising enough. So now if I'm eating an inflammatory food, which dairy is the worst inflammatory food in the world, and I hope you know that the Canadian government finally took it off of their list of foods, and they knew it was one of the leading products in causing cancer 75 years ago. So we can get into that really quick. Mother's milk. Okay, no, let's just put it this way. Cow's milk is 20 times larger than the molecule in mother's milk. Mother's milk does not have casein in it. When you stop breastfeeding, it takes 7 to 10 days. You do not make an enzyme to break down milk ever again. Everybody's allergic, whether you see a reaction from your child or not. If it's pasteurized, it's acidic, it's even worse. If it's pasteurized and it's not organic, it's got antibiotics in it. So casein is a poison. And the casein in it will actually cause someone to become a juvenile diabetic when they're a baby. It won't just cause arthritis, won't just cause colitis, won't just cause gas and screaming from your child and colic. What do you think colic's from? The mother is eating cheese and drinking dairy. I wrote an article when I was 31 called Scary Dairy. And the Dairy Board of Canada wanted to sue me for $250,000. Okay, let's get back to what we're talking about. So guess what? You go to your doctor and you're drinking dairy, and he says, and he goes, "Oh, you've got a cold or a flu, eh? Yeah. So just get off the cheese and dairy until it's gone." Okay, well, wait a minute here. If it's good for me, why would I get off of it? Oh, well, it's not good for you. It's just that I've been told to say that. So once the cold and the flu is gone, we need you to make more inflammation and mucus so that you're still my patient. People don't think. They just drink. And just know this. So do you have dairy in your diet? Nope, just cheese. Really? That's concentrated dairy. Do you know how many people say that they don't do dairy? They just do cheese. So you know what? Whether you eat it this way or just shove it up your butt, it does the same thing. Corks you up. But if you're an O type, you've got a better break. But if you're not an O type, you're still going to be in trouble. But the O's get in big trouble down the road. Now, you're not going to, one second, you're not going to have mucus congestion in your lungs ever. Unless what? Unless you had an inflammatory diet, which means you have an inflammatory mind. Remember what I said? Whenever you have anxiety, are you making a salad? No, because you don't want to have finger food in it. Chop, chop. Because that's what you do. You chop your bloody finger off when you're angry, when you're stressed out. And the thing is if you're angry or stressed out or depressed, guess what you do? You look for the same food with the same vibration. You're a magnet. Wow, maybe I shouldn't come over. You're into those chips and ice cream pretty hard. Yes, Sharon.
I'd like you to comment about goat's milk as well, for so often in the consultations.
Goat's milk? Well, if it's organic, it's going to be better. But the reality is this, is goat's milk, it's better because it's only 7 times larger. But the reality is you stop making the enzyme that digests milk. And okay, wait a minute. Why are we the only species after we're weaned, we're running around looking for the boob? Got to get the boob, got to get the boob. You know, we're the only species after we're weaned and we got to have milk. So I think this is what we need to do. And I think we might have to go down south further. But monkeys are more related to humans, so we should start milking monkeys. No, I'm serious. Who's with me? Okay? Okay, you haven't lived until you've milked a monkey. Yeah, a monkey. Yeah. Wow, that could be the cure. Okay, that's it. That's it. We've got to start a marketing, milk the monkey. What if we were to make a song out of it? We could save the world. Yeah. Yeah. Milk that monkey, milk that. Okay, let's get back here. Okay. So anyways, what's going to happen is you can't have inflammation anywhere in the body. You can't have mucus anywhere in the body if there's no inflammation. The more inflammation is mucus, because your body makes the mucus to try to protect the lining of the skin. And if it doesn't have the mucus, then you're going to ulcerate. And if you ulcerate, you're going to start internal bleeding. And if that happens, then you're going to get infection into your bloodstream. And then you could have systemic poisoning. There is no COPD. There's an inflammatory mind, which is an inflammatory diet. Okay, vaping, choking, okay, are really good for it. But guess what? If you got COPD, why aren't you getting a nebulizer and nebulizing the infinite iodine? 1 part structured water, 1 part iodine, 3 parts structured water, and nebulize that. And guess what? You're gonna see. You're gonna clean it up. Why aren't you doing the fulvate and the silver and mixing them half and half and nebulizing them? You can't hurt yourself. Why aren't you nebulizing the Merigen, okay, which is calcium ions, to get the communication going back in the cells? Why aren't you clapping your lungs for 20 minutes to an hour every night to loosen up the congestion? Why aren't you on a diet that has no mucus-forming foods? Why aren't you fasting? A 6-day advanced water fast and nebulizing will clean up things all the way to the worst situation you could think in the lungs. Use your imagination. I've got bronchitis. No, you've got inflammation of your bronchial tubes. I don't know what I'm going to do. Okay. All right, how we doing? Next.
What about the sale on iodine? When does it start?
The sale starts 1 minute to Sunday. This sale only this sale has not happened in a year and a half. Now, do you know why we're doing the sale? We know people are hurting. I want everybody that is interested in healing to load up. To load up. Load up what you need. This is the biggest sale we even can do. Everybody needs to get it. Why don't you come on and test me? I got more money poured into my products. I do not buy any substandard raw materials. We have the only pure iodine in the world. Come and test me. Go ahead. We have the only non-toxic humic fulvic. We have the only patent for filtering it without chemicals, for breaking it down without chemicals. All right. Our C60 is the best C60. Go watch the video. I can keep going if you want. No. Daily cleansing tea has no stimulants. You take it morning and night. That's the first thing you should always do. If you have no money, just do that and get yourself an enema bag. It'll be your best friend. And then go into my library, which is totally free, and learn more information than your naturopathic doctor. Forget medical doctor. Well, who would ever even say that? They're not into health. That'd be stupid for me to say that. Wouldn't that be a stupid belief to think that medical doctors are into health? Doesn't health stand for health? Okay, well, let's just get there. And you know what? This morning I had Marketplace call me because they're after me. Oh yeah, we got to make a show here. Well, do you see it? I didn't change the way I talk because everything I said is the truth. I didn't promise anybody anything, did I? I said, you got to take massive personal action on an emotional and physical level. So what danger am I? This is truth, everyone. And I'll tell you something. The truth may not set you free, but loving and caring for yourself will. It will. The truth won't set you free. My God. If you tell the truth today, you're going to get beat up. Whoever said that, that's like take the bull by the horns, for God's sakes. Who would do that too? Or that's one way to skin a cat. Who wants to skin a cat? Jeez, the truth will set you free. Yeah, I feel really free. Every time I tell the truth, there's no freedom there. Not today. Not because why? Because it's harvest time. And the harvest is humans. They planted the seed of dis-ease in all of us. We attack each other and we love each other. Oh, isn't that nice how much you love me? Oh, isn't that nice how we love other countries and other religions? Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? And then we got to talk about Black Lives Matter. What about all lives matter? What about never talking it about again? What about talking that the spirit matters? And I'm not telling you that this color or this religion hasn't been beat up over the years, but you know what? They just pick people to beat up. They got to keep us just fighting with each other. I'm not going to fight. I'm never going to fight. I'm going to ignore you. I'm going to ignore you. Yes.
When you nebulize iodine,
Yeah.
when you use, only distilled water or structured water?
I told you that structured is the way to go. If you use distilled water, did I already say that it does not go into the cells?
No.
Structured water, okay, has 1,000% better hydration. Which one will we use? So the only reason why we say distilled water is because there's nothing in it, because we don't want to deliver any toxins with the iodine. But when you structure any water, you've changed the frequency, and now it ups the iodine, and anything that's negative cannot be picked up by the body anyways. I didn't do that. That which created the universe created structured water, because it's created in the atmosphere, because that which created the universe knew that there was a species down here that was going to poison the air, poison the water, poison the food, poison people. And now every time that, okay, it takes water goes an average of 17 times to the water plant So in your toilet and in your taps and water plants 17 times before it goes up. How many different frequencies are in there from the different chemicals? So even if you purify it, look at, and if it goes 17 times, how many different people have drank that water? Their vibration is in there. It stays in them long enough. How many people know that water picks up memory? That's science. Structuring erases the memory. What are the chances that we're going to have somebody happy-go-lucky drinking the water just before us? There's many reasons why I do what I do, because frequency is everything. You know, people say, well, there's 4 major food groups, Daryl. And I say, no, there's only one, and it's number 5. And that's frequency. The frequency in the food and the drink is the only thing that matters. Nothing else does.
When you use a nebulizer, you can suck to the distilled water. And that'd be good.
When you use a nebulizer, structure the distilled water. If you just use the distilled water, your delivery is going to be good. But remember, the water has a trouble going in, but not the iodine, because infinite iodine is not even theta. Do you know what? Okay, here we go. Okay, so we got nano, pretty small, eh? Then you got theta. That's 1,000 times smaller. And then you got pico. And pico is what our iodine is. It goes everywhere. So the distilled water is not a really good ship to take it with. So that's why if you're going to use distilled water, get yourself a structure unit. And remember something, they're going to be on sale too for 20% off. Oh, well, actually, we can't put them on sale. If you buy them, we give you a 20% credit. So they can't stop us from giving you a credit. If you buy the Marigen, we can't put it on sale. We give people a credit to buy other products, not the Marigen. All right. As soon as I try to help someone, okay, other distributors around the world, after me. They're all after me. Yeah, people don't know how our hands are tied. People do not know that also shipping's gone up 5 to 10 times. 5 to 10 times. Our prices haven't gone up yet. And shipping's free. And we've got 3 fulfillment centers across the United States. And we've got an international and a Canadian fulfillment center for around the world in Canada. We're doing our best, and we'll keep on doing our best. And you know what? These are trying times, and we're all stretched. So, but we can't lose it. Stay connected to your breath, have a slight smile, and just picture what you want to be. Don't let them tell you a story. Don't buy into his story anymore. His story, history, it's all BS. Everything about history is BS. Every time they honor a government person or someone high up, just understand something. We fall for it. I honor you. Anybody that would be in the government or is high up today in power, you know that they're as corrupt as hell. All right, next.
How long does it take to take baking soda in water?
Okay. Just know there was a period in my life when I could not control my emotions. I took baking soda probably twice a day. If you are someone that has a lot of stress and pressure, or if you have a chronic illness, I would take a level teaspoon of baking soda twice a day. I would also, and put it in 10 ounces of warm water. I hope you know that I can't give you, I can. My Cenonian minerals are way better than baking soda nutritionally. There's 150 different nutrients in my Cenonian minerals, but baking soda alkalines you, buffers you down. Baking soda, okay, and I'm just going to say this. I know that when I was taking baking soda, it stopped me from having inflammation and mutation in my body. I know that there's an Italian doctor. Go look it up. I'm not going to talk about it because then you're going, oh, he's promoting it. No, but it's the truth. Italian doctor uses baking soda intravenously to turn around cancer. Go use your own head. Okay. All right. And you can use Arm & Hammer. There's a guy who goes, it's Bill's Best baking soda. I got surprise for you. There's no aluminum in it. Bill's a bugger. Understand, I'm never going to lie to you. And if I do, it's by accident. I was schooled wrong. I will not lie to you. Baking soda will save you. if you feel like acid and you're burning your throat, or you feel really pressure in your heart, like you're going to have a heart attack, or you feel pressure in your arms, your legs, your head, you do a teaspoon of baking soda and 10 ounces of water. You know what's going to do? Save your bacon. It might even save your life. And you won't be rushing to the hospital, okay, and saying you're having a heart attack when all you're doing is having a fart attack because you just stressed yourself out with anxiety. Well, the last time you had anxiety and you ate, you had gas cramps because you didn't digest your food. You can't fight, fright, flight, and eat. You have to eat when you're not going to mistreat, and love yourself and be at peace and thank the food for giving up its life to you. Plants know that they've come here to give up their life to you. What a beautiful thing. You think about that. Okay.
Next question, from Darwin Resistance. I got 5 months of fibromyalgia.
There is no such thing as fibromyalgia. Okay, it just means pain in her muscles. And understand something. Let's check her relationships. Let's check her bowel movements. Let's check, because she thinks she's hydrating and she's not. Okay, I'll tell you right now. Fibromyalgia, here's the deal. I already said this. Get a consult for $150, lifetime support, my manual, the Perfect Day Manual, 360 pages, PDF. And if you get a consult, we'll sell you the hardcover for around $85. That's it with shipping. There's no money made. It comes with that. Okay. And after the consult, if we don't blow your brain and show you that healing is all up to you and you can do this, we'll refund your money. So yeah, you know, I had to build this in a way that people that want to attack someone that's on a mission. I'm on a mission to see how good I can be. That's all. Yes, Dawn.
I'm just wondering about the lung restore.
Lung restore, yeah.
Can we clap the heart and lung?
When you use a clapper and clap the lung and heart meridian, which is right here, everybody, and you can go to my Clapping for Health guide in my library and learn all about clapping, which will get rid of anything that could bring you down. Go ahead, love.
No, I'm just wondering, is that a good time to use lung restore? Can you clap with that? I mean, it's a meridian.
I will tell you that you're a lot better off than nebulized. I will tell you that lung restore is good, but nothing beats nebulizing. Why? Because there's a gas. I've got a gas going into me, which is the smallest molecule. So where can it get into? Smallest molecule could get into where? Everywhere. So if you're nebulizing and taking it through your sinus, it's going into your lungs and your brain, back of your eyes, and even working on your ears, inner ear. Yeah. Ron?
She also has full-blown diabetes.
Well, okay. Now I want her to answer you. I have full-blown. Did she say full-blown? Then guess what? Okay, now please do not take this wrong. She's a drama queen. Full-blown. She either has juvenile diabetes or adult onset. So let's figure out which one. But full-blown means that, guess what? This poor woman has had belief systems put into her that life is unsafe and it's not sweet enough. She blew her pancreas out. If your life's not sweet, you'll blow your pancreas out with sweets. Listen, hold enough hate, you'll blow your liver. Have the fear of loss and you'll blow your kidneys.
Yes, she says she has liver problems.
She needs to do a Perfect Day consult. And believe it or not, and this is where people are going to go, how did you do this? You could do it too if you came from unconditional love. She doesn't think people love her or respect her. And she doesn't have a lot of pride for herself. But I love her. And she's got to know that she's special and that she means a lot. And until she means a lot to herself, the diseases are only going to get worse because she's out of alignment with her spirit. And when you disrespect yourself, you become a rug for your family and they don't even know it. If you allow someone to wipe their feet on you, they don't even know it after a while. Did you hear what you just said to me? What do you mean? I talk like this to you all the time. And then we already know we don't know what we're saying, do we? We already know that we don't even know what our personality is and what other people really think about us. We know they're trying to love us. They're trying to care for us. But if we're terrorizing ourselves, are we not doing it to them too? How many families have a love-hate relationship? How many people have a love-hate relationship with their life, their wife, their bodies? It's got to be unconditional love or nothing. You love your body no matter where you are. Ron?
America Strong asks, what item do we need to buy for our private?
You need to buy infinite iodide. And all you need is 5 sprays a day and maybe 10 sprays, depending on how low the thyroid was. But just start off with 5 and see how you feel after a few days. And understand something, a low thyroid. How many people know that a low thyroid is also low metabolism? How many people know that that's an exhausted thyroid? How many people know that the chances are this person is overweight? And if they're not, how many people know that this person has blockages throughout the body that slows down the circulation, that slows down the metabolism, that has made this poor workhorse called the thyroid tired?
All right, next question.
What time is it? Okay, we've been on here since that's 2 hours. No, we came on at what time? 1, quarter after 1? Okay, we shut it down at 3 because we've got some work to do here with the class.
Okay. Next question is, Cynthia Joe would like to know what's in your bag that you sleep every day.
I think that's kind of personal. Okay, all right. I'll just tell you, I'm not going to pull it out. So I've got Bright Eyes in there and I've got Silver Bullet Spray. All right. And I'll put Bright Eyes and Silver Bullet Spray in my eyes throughout the day because I'm working on computers like right now, or I'll do a show. And when I put my Teslas on, that will totally neutralize the blue light and turn it into a healing light for my brain. People go and say stuff like, why does he think he's so cool? What's he trying to hide? So I had enough of that one. So I'll put Bright Eyes in and I'll put Silver Bullet Spray in my eyes. I also have C60 MCT coconut oil and hemp oil. I always do in the morning about 4 eyedroppers of coconut oil, then 4 eyedroppers of hemp oil, C60 hemp oil in the afternoon. Does anybody know why? The endocannabinoids. Does anybody know why? Because it's really good for calming. So people that are doing this, I tell them, you know, if you want to do the dosage to help to really turn around and restore your eyes and your brain. How many people know that I used to have prescription glasses, that I couldn't see small print, couldn't see it at all? I can read small print as far as you. This is all because of the C60 and the black diamond and the clapping and the fasting and everything I do. I'm walking proof that this works. And so are hundreds of thousands of people around the world. Whether people want to believe it or not, I have hundreds of thousands of people that follow me and do these things. And not all of them can afford products. And that's why we have to talk about a lot of things that don't cost any money because nobody gets left behind. And that's why I have these sales every 4 months so people can load up, right? Just do it. Well, if you want. Okay. Well, it's one of the people on the Skype. I mean, on the then block everybody on Zoom.
It's a technical problem in the office.
Well, then tell them to work with it.
Yeah, we do.
Okay. All right. Because when they're putting music on in there, the Facebook's picking it up and they're cutting me off because we're playing music that we didn't buy. Please tell the staff that if they're real videographers, they should know this. Because a real videographer wouldn't play music and do this. No, don't explain it. Just tell them to stop. Thank you. When I'm doing this, it takes time, it takes energy, and I don't need my staff undermining me. This happens all the time. People just like Lou, you know? And I'm not upset. It's all about focus, isn't it? Guys, can we be focused? If we focus, we will get to keep our lives. We'll be able to keep our health. We'll be able to keep our wealth. When we can't focus, everything goes crazy. And this is why you got to mind your own business and stay focused on the things that are important for you first and foremost. What if you could teach your little girl, your little boy, that they should respect, honor, and protect themselves the most? How many of you women here have children or have had children? Would you like them to respect themselves only 10%? Oh, that'd be great. Then they'll get raped. They'll do drugs. They'll do alcohol. But if they were to love themselves 100% and fill up their own heart and not be desperate for love, and they wouldn't be desperate for friends, and they wouldn't compromise the things they do. But guess what? Since mommy and daddy compromise all the time and they see them do that, they're going to do it the same. Mommy and daddy drink alcohol because they have to have a drink or two just to be with each other. And mommy and daddy are beautiful. They don't know they're being played. So got to get it. It's not about tearing people down. I just want my staff to really care enough to be on the ball. I want everybody who works for me to care, to be passionate about this as much as I am, which I know that's not going to happen, but I'd like them to do it enough that we don't have to have people going, do you think they could stop playing music in the studio? No excuses. Okay. We just do better. We learn, we don't burn, we don't punish, we don't judge, but we fix it. And we move on. Any other things you'd like to talk about?
What do you do if someone about to have ECT for depression and anxiety?
Okay, first of all, there's no such thing as having anxiety and depression. Anxiety causes depression. But what causes anxiety? They're full of fear and they're telling the same story over and over again. They're traumatizing themselves. I don't even think I want to even talk about this. The reality is why don't you tell a different story? But they don't know how to tell a different story. You don't understand, Dr. Wolf, what my life is like. My life is hell. Well, you're going to have to tell yourself a different story. You haven't been through my life. I know I haven't. But guess what? You want to know all the drama I've had? I had my wife try to kill herself. Is that good enough? I had my daughter that was on the streets doing heroin for 4 years. Is that good enough? I've had every government agency trying to close my business down because I'm trying to do this, or at least make an attack at me. Is that good enough? Stop telling the stories to yourself. Stop letting people scare you. That's what's happening. We let people scare us, and we believe that we're not powerful enough to change the story. You are. You are the writer. You are the director. You are the producer when you want to be. Don't you let anybody write your story. Don't anybody produce your movie. Because guess what? We're continually having images. That's what makes a movie, isn't it? A bunch of images. But what if you only had beautiful images? How would your story be? What if you had about a beautiful images that you were beautiful and that you were powerful, whether you're a man or a woman, and you love yourself and you love the world? You would be the one walking out of the woods going, I'm here to save us. So, you know what? They are going to come up with so many drugs and so many different treatments. I mean, now they can't get away with shock therapy that totally melts your brain. Remember before they used to put a needle right through the back of your eye into your brain? They can't get away with that anymore because, wow, see what happened to all those people? But they're still doing stuff, aren't they? So whenever you want to, okay, decide to leave Nazi Germany, let me know. Whenever you want to embrace that which created the universe, and that which created the universe created nature, and you want to find your nature, your human nature, let me know. And until then, do your drugs, do your surgery, okay? Because guess what? You are trapped in suffering because you are, okay, set up. You've been set up to suffer. You're feeding an entity. I won't feed them. Let me tell you something. Every one of you know that there is no reason for poverty. Every one of you know there's no reason for starvation. Every one of you know that there's no reason for children dying of dehydration and water poisoning around the world. You all know that. You'll never mention it. You won't talk about it. What if we started talking about it? What if we started minding our own business? What if we didn't fall for the Red Cross and their stuff? What if we didn't fall for all of the United Way? What if we didn't fall for NATO, the Economic Forum, the World Health Organization? All of them have been put together by the same people that have declared it's a human harvest. I'm done. Have a beautiful day. Everybody, you take really good care of yourself. You may not like me, but I love you anyway. God bless everyone. And just know this, I'm only getting started. You know, it's not good enough to have the most powerful courses, treatments, and training. We want to deliver to you the adventure of a lifetime that's going to last a lifetime. And I'm going to take you on a little adventure right now and show you what we are going to deliver. What are we going to deliver? We are going to deliver the authentic you, the real you, the genius inside. How would you like to become not just the master of your mind, but the master of your body, the master of your life? You know what? The most important world is your world, and we're about to show you how to create it.
Found Dr. Wolf and all his positivity and trying to reshape our way of thinking and help me be a better person, a better mom, better wife. I'm glad I found him in person in Ixtapa, Mexico.
Never limit yourself to beautiful, because that's what you are. Take a look at this beautiful place. We all deserve beauty in our life. You need to create a new program that is unlimited when it comes to things that are beautiful, things that make you happy, things that make you shine, things that make you feel excited. Let's get excited.
This guy's got something really interesting to say and he's sharing it really openly and just really not caring what other people think, and I just thought that was really empowering.
What I've learned in my life is this: to be the change you wish to be the change you wish to see, Braveheart, you have to understand you take life one step at a time.
Dr. Wolf, as many people will have seen, is very direct and straight and will take you to the edge of the cliff, as he says, and then pull you back just in time.
Never lose your focus. Never lose your dream, because you are the dream maker. It's called image, but guess what? It's your imagination. The image that you hold creates the thought that you live with. That thought creates an emotion that creates a frequency, and we know that the invisible creates the physical. I mean, that's quite obvious. So be the power that you seek, and understand something, that all your thoughts matter. And guess what? Unless you're willing to take a look at those thoughts and retrain your brain, change your personality, you'll never change your reality, and your reality could become infinite.
He's a wealth of information, and I love it.
You were created by your creator to create. So let's create something amazing together.
I found Dr. Wolf and I went, wow, here's a truth speaker. And he spoke to my soul and he spoke truth.
So tell me what you think of the destination that I came up with my imagination to hold the whole life coach certification for you. Understand something. It's all about beauty. It's all about adventure. It's all about stimulating the mind, okay? And understanding that your mind is unlimited. And that is what the whole life coach certification is all about. In the whole life coach certification, we are going to go deeper. We have people coming to us, professionals coming to us, from doctors to nurses to accountants to oil riggers to mothers that want to expand their life. And when they come here, they go, I need to learn to help my family, or I want to improve my business. But guess what? We get into their business. When they leave, they become the change that they wish to see, that they wish to be. They become the gift to the world, because when you can stay in the present, and you can't do that until you have unconditional love and care for yourself. And I'll tell you something right now. I have hardly even found 1 out of 1,000 practitioners, or even so-called whole life coaches, that can hold the present moment and own it and then give it as a gift. And this is what I'm going to give to you. And when you come here, this is where you're going to come into this room when you need to find alignment, you need to find balance, and you need to get back into your lion heart breath, because we're going to go deep into your heart and we're going to become the spark that you seek.
And actually what I really love about Dr. Wolf's teachings is that unconditional love is literally it. And then you're like, how can it be that easy? That's just silly. So, but it's really not.
Come play, come stay, come train with us today. Understand something. I know we have fear, but understand, that's just false evidence appearing real. I get it. Stick your toe in, feel the water, but then I want you to dive right in because
How I found my brave heart was through Daryl. He really teaches you to go within and go in through your heart and not your mind, because your heart's a lot more connected to so much more than your mind. Your mind is just so conditioned and your heart is just so open and beautiful.
you're the answer that you've been looking for. Let me teach you how to fly. What does that mean? First, love yourself, Braveheart. Let's take life in and win.
I had just lost my husband a couple of years ago. With his passing, he gave me the greatest gift to love myself. But Dr. Wolf gave me the greatest gift in understanding that.
I had a dream 3 years ago that I would live in Mexico and I would have this training center, this teaching center, this treatment center that would touch the world. Your dreams are never too big. And when they start to create a little bit of anxiety, turn them into excitement. And get excited because this is your life.
He's the first doctor that I have encountered that has truly given me the truth, and not just half truths, but the full truth. So it's been revolutionary for me in my healing process.
And this, my friend, when you take on the dream of all dreams and you realize that if you stay connected to your breath, that you can have it all. Do not let anybody take your breath away. Do not let anybody steal your dream, okay? Listen, God gave you imagination. This is your sandbox of life. Take your life back. Right now, we are teaching courses to people that have come from